Well, I'm there and they're all cheering, everybody's in drag, everybody's having a good old time, it's way early in the morning, and I'm running, and I look at my friends, and I was like, dudes, what's up? And they're like, yeah, who's that homeless dude? Oh, that's Chris! And this time, at this point in the marathon, everybody starts to get warmed up. And people start taking off their breakaway pants and their zip-up track jackets and their hats and their scarves and their gloves, and they're throwing them up into the air. And the air looks like somebody has taken, it looks like somebody's taken a handful of Fruity Pebble cereal and just thrown it all up in the air, because there's all this clothes raining back down, and it's all raining back down on everyone. And I'm like, ooh, man, that's a cool shirt. I like that. Or I like those pants. And I'm running, and then I was like, oh, whoa, I gotta be careful that I don't trip on this stuff. And I look over and I see this woman running next to me. She's a woman. She's running. She's like, wham! And smashes her face on the pavement. And I see her look up for about a split second, and I see blood coming from the corner of her mouth. And then I see 40,000 people go and run on top of her. Because you can't stop 40,000 people from running. You're running this close to people. You can't be like, whoa, stop. And they ran on top of her, and I thought to myself, that's the end of the marathon for her that day. And that was when I realized that it wasn't about just running from point A to point B, that there's going to be so much more involved. I get to mile 9, and mile 9 is in Lakeview. That's my neighborhood. And I convinced my friends to wake up before noon to come actually see me. And they came out, and they had their little coffees, and they're like, yeah, dude, go get them. I hope you finish. We're going back to bed. And they turned around and they walked away. I get to mile 10, 11, 12, and 13. 13 is the halfway point. And I see that there's a whole bunch of fanfare, and there's like a bunch of DJs, and there's giant speakers, and I take out my little earphone, and I listen, and they're blasting Bon Jovi, Living on a Prayer. You know that part, the, whoa, we're halfway there, you know that part? And they're looping it over and over again. I'm like, dude, how ridiculous is that? I put my earphone back in, and I keep running. I get to mile 14, mile 15, and I get into mile 16.
That's actually kind of cool.
I get to mile 16, and I think to myself, wow. This is the farthest that I've ever ran. My body's hurting a little bit, but I'm feeling good, man. I'm feeling good. I'm still breathing through my nose. I'm not like huffing and puffing. I'm feeling good. Like I'm feeling, yeah, it's a little sore all over the place, but I think that I can do this. And as I cross into mile 17, it feels like I step on a railroad spike that shoots up through my calf, and the pain shoots all the way up to my right temple and flashes white whenever I step on my right foot. And I looked down, and my calf muscle looked back at me and said, we're done, dude. And I said, man, we got like 10 more miles to go. And it said, nope, we're going to curl up into this little rock-hard ball. And do you ever see that? Are you guys familiar with the Osbournes?
Yeah.
Have you ever seen that one where Ozzy tries to run the mile? And he's like, looks like a half-dead zombie. That's what I turned into. And there I was, but I'm like, no, you will not break your pace. You will not break your pace. But I looked like I was dying. And I was like, I don't care. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this. Because the night before, I told myself, I had a little pep talk with myself, and I said, listen, you're not dead. You can cross that finish line. I don't care if you break your leg or barf up a lung. You can roll your ass over that finish line. You can somersault over it. I don't care. You're gonna cross it. You're gonna cross it. I just kept going. And I'm running and I'm running. It seems like I'm running forever. I'm like, dude, why is this mile taking forever? And finally I take out my earphone and I tap this guy on the shoulder, and he looks over at me and I said, hey, where is mile 18? He's like, yo, we passed it like 5 minutes ago. That was the first moment that I realized I started to lose it up here. I was like, oh, how do you not see it? It's 10 feet tall, a big giant 1, a big giant 8. How do you not see that? And I was like, oh man, I'm falling apart. And I was told about this because your body is not used to going through such extreme trauma. It's expending so much energy. You're going down on your electrolytes, and what happens is when your electrolytes get so lowered, it starts to your brain starts to misfire a little bit. And I realized that at that moment. I was like, I don't care, dude. You're almost done. I get to mile 20, 21, and I get to mile 21. And mile 21 is Chinatown. And that's where all the students from the area come out. And I know my friend Nicole's going to be there, and she's a photographer, and she's going to be taking pictures of me. And I twist my little right foot forward, I square my shoulders, I put my chest out, I put my chin up, and I run like it doesn't hurt. And I'm like, yeah, look how good I look, yeah. And I get to mile 22, and I'm like, oh my God. Mile 22 is in a neighborhood called Pilsen. Pilsen's not a very good neighborhood. I know this because that's where part of my family lived when I was growing up. It was the first place I ever saw a drive-by shooting. I was in the second story window of their crappy welfare apartment, and I heard a big gunshot, and I looked out and I saw a man lying in the street in a puddle of his own blood. The second time I saw a drive-by shooting was in the same neighborhood. I was in that same second story window and I saw a guy get shot with a shotgun through the door of a candy store. So not a lot of people were out in that neighborhood to cheer on the marathon runners. And I'm running and I look over and I see these two little girls, and they're sitting on the side of they're sitting at a picnic table on the side of the sidewalk, and they couldn't have been more than 5, 6, 7 years old. These two little Mexican girls, and they're there and they're handing out lemonade to all the runners, and I watch, and they're holding it out, and I see as their faces light up, and I watch their faces light up, and I watch as their faces melt as no one takes their lemonade. Think about that for a minute. I think about what those little girls had to do when they woke up in the morning. How they had to wake up and they had to go, "Mom, we wanna watch the marathon. Is it cool if we wake up early and we go out there and watch it?" She said, "Yes, honey." "Mom, can we give out lemonade? Can you make us lemonade?" "Yes, honey." "Can you buy extra cups to give away to perfect strangers out there? Can you do that for us, Mom?" "Yeah, honey." And they went and moved that table up there, and those little girls sat there, and no one took their lemonade. Because who wants lemonade from two little girls in the ghetto? And I thought about that. I elbowed my way through the crowd, and at that point, people aren't nice at miles 21 through 25. People aren't nice. See, when you watch a marathon on TV, you see the very beginning. You see the, "Yeah, you guys can do it," and you see that mile 26 as people cross that finish line, because you want to see the triumph, you want to see the victories, and you went, "Yeah, I can't believe you guys did it." And for people like me, the people who don't finish these things in 2.5 hours, the regular people, that is where you see true heart on display. Is miles 21 through 25. You want to go watch some desperation? Go down to a marathon around hour 4, mile 24, 25. You'll see a lot of tears. People weren't nice. They were elbowing me back, and I ran up to those two little girls and I grabbed one of those lemonades, and as I ran past her, I looked at her and I said, "Thank you very much," because no one else did. And I got back into that crowd, and it just proved my point once again that no matter what I do, no matter where I'm at, I'm always going to feel alone in a crowd. Yo, even when I go to shows now, I'm the old dude. I'm the old dude at shows. No matter where I'm at, I still never feel like I fit in. And that's fine, because I didn't need to fit in this time.